So you're gonna buy a house. The house happens to be in a flood zone. Ladies and gentlemen, here are some resources that you can look into if you're, you know, if you're planning or looking at a property that is in a flood zone. You can buy them, you can purchase them, you can exchange them. However, they do come with a little bit of a risk. So most likely, you're gonna have to buy flood insurance. This is an additional coverage on your insurance policy for flood. There are limitations to flood, and you do have to pay for this up front in addition to your fire and wind. So it is a little bit more expensive. You can shop for it. That's why whenever I helped at least two people throughout the years of helping buying and selling property. One of my clients, I had her reach out to the insurance agent, Queenie, which is still a really good friend of mine, and I just told her, it's like, hey, look, can you give her options? She said yes, and flood insurance is actually regulated by the federal government. You can look up your property address to see if you are in a flood insurance. This works for all of them. It's FEMA, FEMA.gov. Go to that website, put any address, it'll give you a map, and if it is colored in blue, you're gonna know it's like, hey, look, I'm gonna need flood insurance. And keep this in mind, those maps can change over the course of any time. So let's just say you have a mortgage for 30 years. There is a possibility that you can get a letter from FEMA, from your insurance company, saying, hey, look, you are now in a flood zone. Therefore, we need to charge you a lot more money. It is possible. Here in Albuquerque and surrounding areas, we live in a desert, but there is still pockets within Albuquerque, Los Lunas, and Belen that have high propensity to flooding. And those sometimes, honestly, my last client, it was 2 blocks. She was within a 2 block radius that FEMA had suggested there was a flood zone. So she had to pay for it. She paid for it up front in a year, separate from her fire and hazard insurance. So it is possible. It is a little bit more expensive. What else? You just have to plan ahead for it and just know in advance. It's like, hey, look, I'm in the flood zone, and it's just a little bit more expensive. Other than that, just that's the best resource that I can tell you guys. I check it whenever I'm working with someone specifically in Los Lunas and Belen. It's like, hey, if I submit an offer, excuse me, if I submit an offer and it gets accepted, will they need flood insurance? So it just takes a quick Google search, FEMA.gov, put in the address. If nothing comes up, I don't have to worry about it. I rather know in advance than have to tell you. It's like, hey, guess what? You got the property, but there's also additional costs associated to living in this specific house. So anyway, just keep that in mind. I feel like if the more you know, obviously flood insurance is not something that you would want to. Just imagine that flood insurance, HOA, PID, on top of your regular mortgage, that becomes a very expensive home to live in, which it could happen, but as long as you know all of that up front and you give the okay, let's get you a house.